Earthline to the rescue for purer skin. Now, during the Earth energetic season, blemishes, acne, toxicity, and enlarged pores tend to be exacerbated. The following is a regimen for proactive skin detoxification. First, Earth Element Toner. After cleansing, use this toner with essential oils of lemon, eucalyptus, lavender, peppermint, niaouli, rosemary, and thyme. Second, Day Cream Earth for purifying, normalizing the skin with Earth Day Cream with soothing millet extract and rosemary extract to improve overall complexion. Number 3, the Night Cream Earth. Again, richer than the Day Cream. This treatment cream is more potent with zinc gluconate, known to be beneficial in the alleviation of acne. Earth Yellow Clay Mask. Number 4, naturally colored and infused with essential oils. This ever moist mask facilitates removal of toxins and normalizes the skin. It's optimum to use Earth Element Phytothere before applying the clay mask. Just a few drops helps bring clarification to the skin and assists you with emotional balance as well.
Follow for more or gain insight to add energy medicine to your healing practice. Go ahead and visit tonyadee.tv/phyto-5 or email info@tonyadee.tv and I will see you on the other side. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Blessings to you, my energetic being.
Inshallah and Ashe, as the divine wills magical blessings to you, 300 plus magical energetic beings. So are we going to hit the 444 this month? I see some new subscribers, so blessings and thank you, hitting the angel numbers. So go ahead and share the excitement with your friends along with other like-minded virtual musers in the galaxy. Either way, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for joining me. And comment if you were kissed by a pixie yesterday. Morna, the fairy that was kissed by the pixies. Anyway, I'm so grateful that I went with the Fae for this week's messages. They really are in alignment with the energy. Our emotions are rich. They may be triggered by our thoughts, like chocolate, patternings of our thoughts, thought patterns, those usually take us down the rabbit hole. But with that, go ahead and hit that white rabbit. Do so right now. It's the only way that we can make certain that this algorithm is going to give us the nutritional quotient that we all so deserve in our frequency, the heartfelt feeling, the stones in our bones, the ancient wisdom of our rising of our origins, even into our inner value quotient, the optimistic venue, the love quotient that we also should be magnetizing, I should say. So while we're waiting for people to hop on to the live, listen to the replay, tune in the afternoon or whatever timeline by design you're on. The way you value yourself is the way the world values you. So as the wheels of time move on, you may feel emotionally impatient, maybe a little defensive. The key for this emotionality is kind of a triggering ingredient. It's like adding too much salt to your cosmic soup or your dinner. I don't know, whatever. A lot of people use way too much salt. So kind of respond to yourself emotionally to those emotional needs instead of falling into an argument in your inner world, your inner voice. Our mind is truly a tool. It holds all of the experiences. It really is like a filing cabinet, thinking thoughts, communication, and the rabbit holes we often find ourselves in. That's why I always say follow the white rabbit. Those rabbit holes may actually dominate the hamster wheel, the stage of life. Add play. And I dreamt about the word play last night. If you're a player, if you're in the play, watching the play, all the things about being a player. So have you found that you are coming to a new value of your own perspective on how you view your own inner self-worth? Like I've been going through this. A lot of it has to do with the North Node because that's where mine is. Living in the now, being in the moment, just releasing all of those past thoughts and triggers, especially from the past, the backpack. It's like the God Atlas carrying the world. So we come to this incredible moment of a new self-worth in our perspective. So with our mind off on holiday, on this inner will, the energy centers have inner and outer wills. You may also be reevaluating your finances, the cost of living, the pricing of all of the things, even our day-to-day investments, investing in ourselves. So it's an amazing day to negotiate, but don't sign any new contracts. Just kind of look at them. And by divine design, the universe truly is working in our flavor. And we are continuing on the highway of where we do belong in this choreography. Our connection to the goddess universe is indeed the magic guiding us into this beyond magical in these insights in a way. So somewhere inside of our essence, our being, maybe you've felt your authentic past all along, where you belong, following the flow of your feelings. I literally am doing this. So being in a creative, intuitive state today, the mind's kind of percolating. It's on holiday, but it's still working. You'll have this inner knowing, the solar plexus, and you're going to know a great decision or an idea when you hear one. So go ahead and trust it, the intuitive mind. Just don't sign a contract. You may have a healing conversation that really assists you into making an even greater moment in the decision making and that choreography. And your heart is really eager and excited to think about the benefits, feelings into the thoughts. So my name is Tonya Dee, and welcome to my virtual medicine room. And if you have yet to subscribe to my channel, please do. Heartfelt. Go ahead and hit the white button. Follow the white rabbit. That's my tone. YouTube, that's probably where you're tuning in. And even my Musing with Tonya Dee podcast. I've had some great musing interviews in my audio room this season. But in the season of Taurus, we've got the Earth Star, nature empathy, nature realm, paying attention to the winds of change, lightning, striking, all of the things. We had some great hell last night, along with the Shamans Portal, the mystical and the magical, the solar plexus. It's our mental, intuitive, and clarity kind of choreography there, cleansing our causal mental field, those auric fields of all the thoughts, especially the negative ones. But before I go any further, once again, I just like to give a shout out to my tribe, my village that's growing and excelling, to all the new peeps that are entering the container, the community, new subscribers. I just like to give a validation of voice, letting you know that I do see you, a voice of acknowledgement to our new friends and guests. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the village. My intention is to really hit those 444 peeps by month's end. So please share with your friends, like-minded groups and whatnot. And of course, a shout out to those that have been on my journey since the beginning. I'm sure you've seen how the choreography has changed. It really does take a village, a tribe, but just gratitude and blessings to you and for you. Thanks for joining in, tuning in. And those of you that do tune in later on whatever timeline you're on across this globe, it's amazing how we've managed to go further out into the world, instead of just our little hideaway. And a comment, if you do feel you need a message for your day, I do a message every day anyway, but sharing is just another way of paying it forward. You could also find me on TikTok, of course, YouTube Shorts and whatnot, all those things. Just remember, I am your otherworldly shamanic reflecting assistant. You truly are your own healer, but sometimes we have energetic hiccups. And we do need a otherworldly life coach to assist us, to show us a new set of eyes, myself included, by the way, to really get us out of our own magical way so our light shines brighter. And that's really what's happening, especially this year. And the daily snippet, what's this all about? Well, the cosmic insights, the planets doing their dance. It's like the elemental highway, if you will, out in the sky. And by design, I do follow the lunar energies. I'm always in choreography with the moon through the seasons and the circuitry, the gates of human design. I do have a gate online today, a circuit, I should say, gate 39 with 55. I'll get to that a little later. But for the season of Taurus, we have the Earth Star, our 10th energetic center online. All things nature, natural. So it's like, are you a nature empath? If you're not sure what your intuitive gifts are, I do have a fun little quiz, I might say. It's called Change Your Stars. It's a quiz to find out your intuitive gift order and your psychic ability. We are all intuitive. We are all gifted. It's just a matter of how it percolates for us. So go ahead and take the quiz, comment below, and let me know your thoughts on that. But we are really raising the drawbridge, creating sacred space for our inner self-worth, our internal value system. It's a process of really evaluating and valuing ourselves even more, because we know we are actually worth more. And sometimes, it may slide the rug out from under our feet is where I'm going. Because if we don't feel valuable on the inside, the outer world kind of reflects that by design. But today is kind of giving us the ability to really stand out from the crowd. I'll get into that later. But I also do a 4 Pillars mystery guest on Sundays. 4 Pillars elemental, using our useful ingredient. And I like lately the auric fields, really cleansing the auric fields. It's been a thing for probably the last 2 months. I'm kind of feeling it phase out a little bit. Maybe I've cleansed it to where it's just so sparkling clean, I don't need it. But as a reflector, I do ask myself first thing in the morning and at night, was it or is it the right time? Am I with the right people? It's about building my tribe, truly, authentically? And what am I seeing that nobody else can see? And then what is the movement that I am authentically creating? What is the solution I'm creating within this movement? So ultimately, it's lighting up your star. But we do have the pancreas, the heart's core, and our thymus. The thymus is actually connected to the Shamans Portal, along with our bones. I'm feeling the bones, the ancient wisdom of our bones, actually. Don't know why that's happening, but it comes from Africa, the ancient wisdom of Africa, possibly rituals. So with our mind off on holiday in the season where things are really slowing down, taking one step at a time, one vibrational step at a time, the solar plexus is moving in that inner will. It's our intellectual thinking, mental clarity, logical, even our intuitive aspect of our mind. And it's kind of an interpreter, if you will, interpreting a new language, maybe light language, even angelic language. You know, how many languages do you speak? So if you find yourself on the hamster wheel or going down into that dark rabbit hole, get on that physical movement of the wheel, like the treadmill, if you will. Start cleaning or any other kind of body movement, kickboxing, whatever it is that you do to really assist you in grounding and recalibrating the nervous system. The nature, wood element transforming, we're really in this. So we've got this script of our own self-worth and our values, and we are matching the frequency, energy, vibration of our values and our worth with our thoughts. They're creating a chain linking, if you will. They're merging, becoming coherent. So are your thoughts on repeat to yourself, that inside voice? Are they building you up or are they breaking things down? A lot of us have self-sabotage, self-criticism, constant dissatisfaction with our thinking. That negative inside voice, our self-talk, can really kind of rip out the mountain. A lot of mountain slides are happening here in Utah without water, by the way, when we were all worried about flooding, but a lot of the mountains are eroding without the water. So I find that very curious because I'm very elementally ritual driven, but eroding of our own self-worth, our value system, even our confidence, our self-esteem, the tones of our mind, that inside voice, you know, takes the words that we utilize and the frequency that we repeat, even they all contribute to, you know, the topsy-turvettes, the positive or the negative within our mind, that choreography. So it really is the coordinates, like the longitude, the latitude, in a way, kind of by divine design. So with the sense of our own self-worth, so as we go along our way on the day, try to be mindful of what the things that you are saying about yourself, thinking about yourself, the attitudes and the words that you may be using. So anytime you come to a crossroads that really lessens your value, your self-worth, really rewording the idea with a positive spin, spinning the wheel, the inside wheel of that energetic center, your solar plexus, and using your heart, allowing your heart to be the author, the scribe of those words. So in being your own author and really the playwright is what I'm getting, with your heart, we're using our heart monitor to do just that, reword our thinking to improve self-worth, self-esteem. I think that's why Morna came up yesterday, actually, the fairy who was kissed by the pixies. That was kind of a prelude, I guess. So we did have, she does heart surgery. That's kind of why she came up. That's kind of what I'm feeling there. So just a few announcements today. I'm sure you know I've got all these announcements. But the season of the witches, if you've tuned in, the Imaginal Realm here. This is Amber Tark. I love her name. But the Imaginal Realm, she is by design. This is amazing. The realm of the imaginal pathway is part of the Shamans Portal, the mystical and the magical. And it's doing the dance with the Earth Star for the first 10 days of the Taurus season. So we're kind of filtering both of these energies through our heart. It's actually pretty mystical and magical, really. And I believe the universe is always working in our flavor if we are aware of it. But she's this week's audio artist in my virtual medicine room. Really great interview. Just remember to comment your favorite Musing with Tonya Dee Podcast artist. You can tune in on tonyadee.tv/podcast, Apple, Spotify, Amazon. I'm sure there's more, but I can't remember them all. And Sundays, I do a mystery guest artist. The reason I do this is the 4 pillars. The elemental realm kind of shows us an element that you may need, whether it's the liver, the gallbladder, kidney, and I'm talking about the energy vibration of the organs. It shows us our useful elements. Mine happens to be water, so water is about being in the flow. Water is about communicating, because I have excess fire, even in the Dagara cosmology. So it's actually a very useful tool for the 4 pillars chart. I do that in the Rising of the Origins. It's a private community on Facebook. I'm looking at switching that up. But I also do have the Witcher's Way to Manifestation, which is great. But with Mercury on holiday, I'm kind of doing the slow roll when it comes to being choreographed in the artist kind of way. But I also do a Risings of the Origins, a free gift, a free immersion, I should say, a discovery of your gift and purpose. And that's actually starting the first day of June 1st. So a lot's happening. And I'm editing the handout for that as well to really add to that container of the elementals. And I even offer cowrie shell divination. So I'm very elementally ritual driven, if you can't tell. So if you're in need of a one-on-one, a soul support session, cowrie shells were actually brought to the West by Elder Malidoma Some. He's an African shaman of the Dagara tribe. I've been working with him. I've been a protege since about 2012, a student of his medicine, if you will. Amazing rituals. And I'm also taking a few people to Mongolia, a few inspirited people, like-minded medicine people, on an adventure there, an indigenous journey, cultivating with the culture with 6 indigenous medicine people, shamans, really. And also this week, if you were able to join, luckily, I am part of a 10-day of remembering with Juliana Whitlow. I'm going to be joining her with some other intuitive artists. I'd already had the kickoff yesterday, but tomorrow I'll be there. I'll be the guest talking about the ghost in the darkness, the Shamans Portal mostly, but the magic is there. But today, excitingly enough, I hope you don't mind me sharing the gates. I do have a gate connected. This is the channel of emoting. And go ahead and comment if you have this circuitry. I'm not a human design artist by any way. I'm just a reflector by design. So I follow the gates in the circuitry. And being, or going live, it's kind of like I do my own monthly memoir. But the channel of emoting, this is like designed for some really huge emotions. It's the channel of being both moody and beautiful. And we've often, a lot of times, we've been conditioned to view our moods as being problematic when they're an incredible piece of information regarding right timing for us, what we feel, feelings, right? So it's really as simple as this. If you're not in the mood, it definitely isn't the right time. And you probably have a history of forcing yourself to really doing things when you're not in the mood to actually do them. So it's about trusting ourselves that when we are in the mood, we really do create this authentic magic in this world. And when we're not, we can rest. We can take that pause. So the magic is going to come when the timing is right. So this is also a very creative energy. It kind of reminds me of connecting with the moon for some reason. So as for a tip, here's an idea. Develop a creative outlet that is not tied to an end product or an end outcome, meaning that we paint freely and we can even trash the painting at the end if we desire. So we're not painting to put it on the wall or sell it out on the world. We're just painting for the pure expression of being creative and finding a movement that actually works for us. So this is a channel, it's between the two mortars of the root and the emotional, along with the solar plexus kind of there. So it kind of is an exercise, which actually goes with the energy of today, of moving. It really helps to calm that emotional wave. That's why movement is so important. So we're here to kind of, this channel is about waking up humanity to a new future, to abundance, to spirit consciousness, and to really understand spirit, source, energy, vitality, and all those great things as our own vital source of abundance. And just knowing that we are here to wake people up to their limitlessness, their unlimited potentials. And sometimes, life does feel painful. Sometimes we are going through these huge transitions, and sometimes our emotional wave kind of crashes big and hard. Just imagine huge waves, a tsunami hitting hard, and feel like there's no possible way that things are ever going to be okay. But instead of exploding out on others, we're more likely to implode on ourselves. That's where, for myself, disrupting, if I don't disrupt the status quo, I end up disrupting myself. And the darkness really doesn't last that long when we learn how to really go in the flow and move with it. So trusting the beauty of our emotions and learning to honor and respect our moods and kind of waking up humanity and utilizing our magic. So some affirmations is for myself would be that I trust that when I am in the mood and my timing is right, and to really take care of my powerful emotional energy. So just tuning to the flow of abundance and spirit consciousness within my galactic universe. So that's kind of the message of this particular gate. And again, it's kind of like a monthly memoir for me. So that's mostly why I'm doing it. If that resonates with you, just comment below. That would be amazing. But today on the elemental highway, of course, we've got a yin water ox of a day. And this energy is where the ox plows through steadily. It does remind me of a Taurus energy, quite honestly. And I believe we're going to get a new month in May. The dragon, we're going to move from the dragon to the snake. Different frequency energy there in the month, but our day is rooted. It's also hidden. It's in storage. So the earth is wet. So we've got one that's like a water well, and the other one is like spring water, if you can get a visual. So yin water is very intuitive. It's full of insights. It's curious. It likes to find those answers, communicate those answers. And the ox is an opposing power, which is actually curious because the ox is also part of the water direction. And intuition is curious as well, right? So yin water is a secret friend, and the metal is a resource, and that's kind of controlling. It's unrefined. Possibly harsh words, voice, that inside voice. That's kind of where that's frequenting there. And the fire, the sun, the being or the yang fire on the month, that's the spirit or the energy of wealth. Wealth reflecting on the waters, where fire is going to reflect and show the way. Spirit may open a door today. This could be health or wealth. Not a banker's kind of wealth, or the wealth that you are less than I'm kind of wealth. This is raising our frequency, energy, vibration of what we value. And the dragon is a great power, a mountain of seen power. So you may be seen literally as a powerful energy today. And the month of the animal actually represents the day master's purpose. I don't know if I've said that before, but yin wood is what our day does. It's a day to be graceful and growing. And yin water is a friend. It's an ally, which we have both on the year, a friend and an ally, along with creativity, ideas. So what are we really missing? Metal, really, once again, but it is in storage. There is some there, but we do need some sort of support. We need a mentor to be released, to be of soul support, of guidance. A great day to do a divination, if you will. And the goat kind of clashes. Earth elements don't really clash like the other animals. It kind of just opens things up. So really message me or go to the soul support page for that if you feel like you need a divination. But metal are words. Be courageous, be in the flow, be kind, be heartfelt in the joy. Use the power of love over the love of power. That's the energy, especially after being kissed by the pixies yesterday. Which Morna, the heart surgeon, be kind to your heart. Like what broke down so you could really break through. And how many of you have freckles? I used to have a ton of them. And now they're kind of fading. I do have wisdom spots, I will say. But on this terrific Tuesday, if you listened to yesterday, we do have the Dark Lady. She's also part of the She, but the 20. This is all about trusting our feelings. And that really does go with the gate that's online today, the circuitry, the 39 and the 55. This is feeling empathy, feeling into our intuition on what we feel. Part of the She, again, the lords and the ladies. These ones do that alchemical dance to bring the singers into this realm. So we have this energy. We actually had 2 She this week, back to back, and they're next to one another. Yesterday was 21, today is 20. But again, these are the lords and the ladies of the hills and the fae. They're the old ones, and they do the dance, this magical dance, to bring the energy, the powerful energies of the singers. It's a sound, actually, into this world for manifestation, to manifest. And they do this for the pure essence of those joy molecules, just creating and comforting everything around them. Guardians is kind of what they are, the guardians of the gate. They even create frequent miracles. So maybe feel into that today, visualize today. And on that note, did anyone join day 1 of the 10 days of remembering with Juliana Whitlow, the Claire Mindset? Super fun. And the link there again is in the show notes. I'm going to be the guest speaker tomorrow. If you're interested, talking about the ghost in the darkness. But the Dark Lady is all about trusting our feelings and trusting what we feel when we trust and love, and what we are manifesting. What are we producing? Those epiphanies on a mind-based kind of day. It's thought illuminating. And the dark lady is this unconscious power, the wisdom, rituals, which I love, mysteries, secrets. It does remind me of my own Scorpio moon in a way, the high priestess kind of energy. But the dark lady really is the high priestess of the mysteries and the magic. And she understands how to surrender to that divine power, to the unity card, which is also we have this week on Thursday, also otherworldly, I might say. So there's some interesting circuitry happening here. But she has the profound intuitive knowledge, which is amazing on the energy of today, and that it's only going to be found by looking deeply within our shadows, within our own being and our own nature. So we find her through meditation and sleep within inner peace, ecstasy, total despair even. But her time is the time of the dark moon, which I was born during a dark moon. And she is the guardian of beings unborn, unconscious ideas of seeds and sprouting in the dark, the cold earth, the tender, the fragile. And yet it's also the unready to face the bright sun, the young fire, the winds of spring. So she holds this embryonic hopes, if you will, like the birthing of the embryo that we possibly have not even realized that we actually have inside of us. She's the mistress of spiritual ritual. Like I literally connect with her. And the purpose really of ritual is not the power that it allegedly holds over the gods and the fairies and the ancestors and all the things, but the very real power that they have kind of over us, putting us into a state of awareness and consciousness where we may be better able to connect to our own authenticity, our own mystical, magical self, and to those otherworldly beings. And the dark lady really understands that ritual is something that we surrender to. We are allowed to unfold rather than something we do or control. It's the birthing of a phase. But when we have been through a living cycle of birth and growth with the maiden, which is also connected to the one aspects of the moon, nurturing and fulfilling with the bright mother, so you can kind of see this choreography and releasing and letting go with the lady of the harvest, the fall. It's the dark lady who passes with us through the night of the endings and death so we can get to the new beginnings, whether it's of the body, of the soul, simply something passing through our lives. So it is she who really holds and guides us as we kind of reconceive ourselves and prepare to be born anew. So it's this simple breathing. It's an act as simple as breathing. So we can kind of connect with and see all four of them on the inhale, if you will. You take a big inhale with the maiden, and then we get into this moment of fullness with the bright mother. And then on the exhale, we've got the lady of the harvest bringing us into the fall and the moment of emptying, and we're waiting in stillness. That's the dark lady. So she's here in our very last moments of our deepest grief, helping us to move forward into the stillness, peace, a place of beyond grief and finding that. So our sorrows here with her are really transformed within her. So she's teaching us really the art of surrendering and walking with us through the valley of the darkness, the darker shadows. And she's there as we experience the ecstasy of release. And then she guides us really back into this reality where we are more renewed, we are birthed anew, we are illuminated. So from her comes those spiritual awakenings that seem to blossom within us, that come out of nowhere. So when we travel through the darkness, the ghost in the darkness, which is funny because that's what I'm talking about tomorrow, the inner, the outer, this is where we learn the strength of the dark lady. We're seeing that she's otherworldly today as a message, but she's still beautiful either way. I feel sometimes when cards are otherworldly, it's energy that's coming towards us and for us, but usually it's blocking the energy. So, maybe you feel blocked, maybe you're frenetically active, maybe you're occupying yourselves with things that are happening in the physical or the outer world, and maybe you're ignoring the call of the world within yourself. Maybe you're resisting the profound change, the renewal, in order to keep your feelings repressed and not being able to be vulnerable. Maybe you're hiding from yourself. So we may even become aloof, detached, cold, inaccessible, just holding ourselves back as a way of holding back ourselves and others. And when we twist this energy, it's like the circuitry goes the opposing force. This process within us may experience blocks that are more frigid and impotent or other form of being disabled, if you will, and making connection with others, having that soul connection, even with the source of our entire being, our God's boss unity, the oneness, which I cannot even believe that card's coming up later this week. And at worst, we use the magic of the inner realms for the purpose of distraction, manipulation, even sometimes becoming a black magician, if you will. So if we choose to do this, which is really the closest thing that the fairies know as an unforgivable sin, where we may harm others, we always know more than likely it's a very serious damage that we also do to ourselves. So all in all, the intention for this day is to really reword our words in that choreography. Be your own author of those words, the words that we use. Follow the white rabbit and use constructive wording, innovation with your self-conversations, elevating your self-worth, raising the bar on that inner value, the inner will, using positive language, install maybe some light language, using your mind for a tool of greatness and for goodness, and repeating those affirmations that create a sensation of just feeling magical, right? Do a ritual around it, even create a sigil in the ground of language. Just reinforcing what you're seeking to create, to manifest, is just another worldly method to shift our overall self-worth, self-esteem, self-confidence manifestations, right? We've already experienced the lower frequency thoughts. It's time to elevate them and stay in the optimistic venue. I would say come up with your own affirmation today, something that really elevates, that you can feel into in your inner self-will, that makes you feel valuable and hold that frequency sound tone, repeating it throughout the day, every day, and manifesting through those words, the words that we use. It's time to give ourselves the soul value that we authentically deserve. I know we went through a process where we were non-essential, but knowing your essential value, either way, whatever that looks like for you, bow in the mirror, pat yourself in the back, give yourself that soul value that you're able to monetize upon. And the words we use are often the reality we create. And we've heard this many times. I myself am going through the cosmic webbing, very strange, even to the point of revisiting places in the physical earth that have already been in the physical realm. Very curious. So we do have the winds of change. There might be some sudden, often abrupt change, unexpected change. However, it's usually not really unexpected. Often it's not as expected as we may think about it. So we're in it, lightning just doesn't strike out of nowhere, out of the clear blue sky. We generally see the storm clouds rolling in. We hear the thunder. We hear the winds starting to blow. So we're always given these warning, these alert signals, and often we ignore them and we ignore them, we ignore it, and we just keep ignoring it more and more and more. And every time that it's time to make a transition, the universe will give us kind of a window of time to really get it done, an opportunity. And we're giving all these signs, all these synchronicities. We're being nudged into a direction that we actually need to go. And if we ignore it and keep ignoring it on, the universe is like, well, okay then, all righty. The universe, galactic and juicy as she is, usually makes the decision for us due to us not listening to our alert signals in the first place. So the rug appears to be pulled out from underneath our feet as the universe is moving us. However, often it does appear pretty ugly sometimes, but it can almost always be turned into a magical thing, a moment. So I believe we're going through this transition. So with all of that, I will see you tomorrow. We do have a singer on the realm online tomorrow, so it's very exciting energy. And I'm also going to be on the 10-day of remembering the ghost in the darkness. So if your heart feels called, be sure to join me for that. And I will see you on the other side. Ashe, blessings.
So much. Exactly. Every time we use a metaphor, we are already in imagination. Every time, people would go to the extent, every time you come up with a new symptom, whether that be psychological or physical, if you really become curious and go behind, take it metaphorically and not literally, you're already in imagination. You try to get, okay, what are the poetics of it? Like, what is the body trying to tell me if we really want to listen to the body? And so there's depth everywhere, like any place you go, like you scratch the surface of like your superficial everyday stuff, and there are things that wanting to be explored, really, tugging us, like really wanting our attention. And the more you engage with them, I often say that I don't know what I can do for the people in terms of like, I'll make you rich and I'll get you this and that. I mean, I can't guarantee any of that. There's only one thing that I can guarantee is that your life will be more interesting.